You see, I've known Christy for quite some time. And I remember when she ran for city council, we met at a coffee shop and seeking my endorsement, and I knew immediately, based on her background, always in a history of standing up for social justice, for standing up for those that are marginalized, for those that don't have a voice and didn't have a voice until Christy came and represented them, fighting for justice. And immediately endorsed her and have been so pleased for what she's gotten accomplished.
Would you speak to the gerrymandering that's happening around the country and the whole notion of redistricting and the suppression of the census by the Trump administration and the fallout from that?
Yeah, voting rights are an issue that are under attack, and I think we're having a conversation about who is the future voice of this country, of this region, of this state. Too many of us who are LGBTQ, us who are women, us who are people of color, have been excluded, left out. And I think there's this conversation of keeping us excluded. And so it's horrible to see the voting rights gerrymandering that's happening, the fight to make sure some people can't vote. So California, I'm so proud to lead. California has been leading the way on voting rights, and I think in our region we can lead as well. We need to do more work getting people registered to vote, making sure elected officials are accountable so that they want to vote for us, right? That they know we're working for them, and I think that's the work that we have to do.
So it's January 30th. This footage will air in the second week of February, and a lot of news can happen between now and then. But right now we're looking at the possibility of a black woman on the Supreme Court, which inspires my question. When you were a little girl, who were your role models?
That's such a good question. And I always say when I was growing up, I didn't always see women in jobs that I wanted. And I was told that I could be president, but I had never seen it before. And then in 2016, we found out we thought a woman could be president, and instead we elected someone who assaults women and is proud of it. So I really looked up to my teachers. I was able to go to law school and my law school professors. And the work that I've done in legal aid, serving real people and those mentors. And I've just really, I'll say, all my colleagues on council, I know I didn't have them when I was young, but it's incredible to just work with them and to see how that impacts little girls and little kids now. It's just really great to see how important representation is.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Hot in Palm Springs on PromoHomo.TV. I am your host, Nicholas Snow. This broadcast is originating live February 9th, 2022, but the bulk of the broadcast today will be my comprehensive coverage of Christy Holstege's first in-person event of 2022, which marked the official launch of her campaign for Assembly District 47. At the time, she had been running unopposed for 7 months, but the week after that event, Greg Wallis entered the race as a Republican. He has been known as a staff member for Chad Mays. So that is how the race has changed. The Holstege launch event brought out major names in Democratic politics, including featured speakers Congressmember Dr. Raul Ruiz, who rocked the House. You're going to love his comments if you believe in democratic values, principles, and causes. And Palm Springs City Council member and former Mayor Geoff and Palm Desert City Council member Karina Quintanilla. They were the official speakers, in addition to a representative from Equality California, who was also featured. And the crowd also represented an amazing group of elected officials and candidates. It was a very exciting event. That's what's coming up for you in today's broadcast. So you're definitely want to stay tuned for that. For their support of my show, I want to thank DAP Health. One of their value statements: we welcome all people, period. And right now I'm broadcasting live from my home studio in the affordable housing complex affiliated with DAP. You gotta love them. I certainly do. Big shout out to 849 Restaurant and Lounge, Willie Ryan and John Pascal, longtime supporters of mine. And I'm a proud media sponsor of the LGBTQ Community Center of the Desert, their motto: creating a vibrant community by helping LGBTQ people along their way. And their Red Dress Party is coming up, and sale, if you're watching this live, tickets go on sale next week. They'll sell out. Go to thecentercv.org to keep, to get those tickets, because they're going to sell out. I'm going to have tickets, but I think they're spoken for. I also am a proud media sponsor of Palm Springs Pride. You can find 4 different Pride parades at PromoHomo.TV, and the big event happens every November. Given no pandemics, we did miss 1 year, although we did have the recent parade. It was very exciting. So you can find those at PromoHomo.TV. And this program is distributed across the Twitterverse with the support of the hashtag #ILoveGay campaign, and amplified by my media partners, KGay1065 Palm Springs, the hashtag #ILoveGay Palm Springs podcast, and gaydesertguide.lgbt. If you are interested in merch, and I'm actually wearing some merch that I ordered off of Amazon, you can go to Amazon, or you can also go to the merch link at PromoHomo.TV. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on Facebook during any live broadcast, you'll see a bell pop up. Hit that bell so you can be alerted of future broadcasts. And follow me across social media at a variety of locations. I'm doing something exciting, and you can participate. On April 24th, I'm having a big subscriber thank you party and 60th birthday, yes, my 60th birthday party at 849 Restaurant and Lounge. And it's exclusively for people that become voluntary subscribers to the free content at PromoHomo.TV, starting at only $10 a month. And here are some of the people that have done just that.
I'll be your light.
So you gotta love those folks for supporting me, and I hope that you'll consider that as well. There are lots of Christy Holstege events coming up, and I told my friends Kate Castle and Valerie Milano that I would give a shout out to their upcoming event, which is February 12th at 11 a.m. If you see this in time, it's going to be at Valerie's house, and it's a lovely space. Jennifer Corday will be performing, among others. For upcoming Christy Holstege events, just search Facebook, as it mentions here. Just search Facebook for Christy Holstege for State Assembly, and you'll find all the upcoming events throughout the campaign. Also, if you happen to be watching live today, February 9th, if you enter the hashtag vote, here we go. Where did you get this? There we go. If you enter the hashtag vote, I'm going to do a giveaway at the end of the show for this particular sticker. But you have to enter the hashtag vote to be entered. So that's coming up. And as promised, any moment now, I'm going to be featuring the significant video from the event, and I think we're just going to go into that right now. So here we go back to June 30th, excuse me, what month is it? January 30th, 2022, right here in Palm Springs, California. The kickoff event for Christy Holstege in her run for Assembly District 47. The former mayor of Palm Springs and current council member is hosting a meet and greet with special guests. And the date is January 30th, 2022. This broadcast is being taped to air in February of 2022. In this event, I'm bringing you the highlights and actually the bulk of the formal program, in which we hear the speakers, and of course I have some footage of the who's who have gathered in support of Christy. I interviewed all of the city council candidates when Christy first ran for the council in Palm Springs, and ultimately endorsed Christy. And she has my support in this run as well. But for any of you out there that are running for political office that might be in competition with someone that you've seen on PromoHomo.TV, I invite you to reach out to me for an honest, fair, open, equal opportunity interview. I'd love to do that for you. So stay tuned, and we'll have more of this event coming up.
Oh, Sam. So our first speaker will be the Managing Director of Equality California, an organization near and dear to my heart, who's done such an amazing job there. So please welcome Sam Garrett. Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Geoff. Really glad that Geoff did the elected official acknowledgements, so that's out of the way. Thank you all so much for being here. I am so excited to represent not only Equality California, but also I am a board member of LGBTQ Victory Fund, two organizations that are proudly supporting Christy's campaign to flip this district. I also have known Christy on a personal level as a friend, and I truly don't think that there is a person I know of, sorry Geoff, sorry Lisa, sorry Dennis, I don't think that there's a person that I can think of who is in politics for the right reasons more than Christy Holstege. This is someone who has dedicated her life to making our communities better for all of us, to fighting for LGBTQ equality, fighting for reproductive freedom and abortion access, fighting to protect our environment, increase housing affordability. Every one of these issues are issues that Christy wakes up every day to fight for. And we could not be more lucky to have her on the city council, but we are thrilled to be supporting her for assembly. We need, right now, we need champions like her in Sacramento who will stand up and fight for our progressive values, fight for our values of inclusion and equality and justice for all. This district, we need to flip. We really, really, really need to flip, and in Christy, we have the perfect candidate to do that. So Christy, I am thrilled to be supporting you as a friend, thrilled to be supporting you with Equality California and Victory Fund, and let's get this done.
Thank you, Sam. Our next speaker will be Palm Desert City Council member Karina Quintanilla. And I just want to say how exciting it is to have such a progressive voice on the Palm Desert City Council. You're doing an amazing job. We're so thrilled that you're there.
Woo! Thank you. It's my pleasure. Hello, everyone. My name is Karina Quintanilla. I am a council member for the City of Palm Desert. And to me, it's very important to have everyone here today, to support Christy. Community leaders emerge because people encourage candidates that make them feel at ease when they share their troubles, their concerns, and their dreams. And leaders listen. Leaders listen to the experts, the environmental scientists, the medical experts, and the educators that inform policy. Leaders find a way to go an extra step, moving from sympathy to empathy to action. Christy understands the ecological challenges that our region faces and that California will face in the decades ahead. And Christy will be our voice in Sacramento. Christy fights to strengthen our reproductive rights and fights so that we can have medical access, and so that my daughter will know that she will grow up in a future where her rights and other LGBTQ persons will know that they will enjoy the same quality of life, including adoption, including all of the rights that are marginalized. They must be preserved. Christy listens for today's families, from single mothers to single fathers, to grandparents and extended family members that are caring for children. In October, the CDC reported that 140,000 children lost their primary or secondary caregiver. How many do you know? They are in each and every one of our communities. Christy understands that we need to guide progress in California while not leaving our most neediest neighbors behind. Our neighbors on fixed incomes that feel the recession, that feel inflation, not in pinches, but in punches. Christy knows that mothers will fight fiercely because motherhood supercharges your drive to protect. And Christy will represent us in Sacramento. Christy will fight for all of us. Los líderes del pueblo surgen cuando el pueblo lanza un candidato que inspira la confianza, cuando ellos comparten sus situaciones, problemas y sueños, y los líderes escuchan. Los líderes escuchan a los científicos y expertos médicos de educación que informan la póliza. Los líderes toman un paso más de llegar de simpatía a empatía hasta acción. Estos son mis valores y por eso yo apoyo a Christy Holstege. Christy entiende las amenazas del futuro, del clima, nuestras necesidades de la región y del estado. Y Christy entiende y peleará por nosotros en Sacramento. Christy lucha para fortalecer los derechos reproductivos y acceso médico. Christy continuará su lucha para la legislación que asegure que mi hija y otras personas LGBTQ tendrán derechos que disfrutamos todos, incluyendo el derecho a la adopción. Christy escucha y es un líder para las familias de hoy, las madres y padres solteros, los abuelos y proveedores de cuidados que cuidan a los niños del futuro. En octubre, la CDC reportó que 140,000 niños perdieron a su proveedor de cuidados. ¿Cuántos de ellos son de parte de nuestra comunidad? ¿Cuántos conocemos? Christy entiende la necesidad de guiar el progreso y cuando de la misma manera que cuidamos a nuestros vecinos más necesitados, ellos que están con ingresos fijos, que sienten la recesión y la inflación, no en pellizcos, pero en puñalados. Las madres son fieras y la maternidad sobrecarga tu decisión y tu necesidad de proteger. Y Christy nos protegerá y representará en Sacramento a todos. Muchas gracias. Thank you. And with that, I have the honor of introducing our current congressman in the 36th district, who we are all devastated to lose, but we know we still have a champion in Congress, Dr. Congressman Raul Ruiz.
Good job. Gracias, Karina. Well, it's been one hell of a week. It's wonderful to be here with all of you in support of Christy Holstege for the Assembly. I want to point out a good friend of mine who's here with us, Congressman Mark Takano, the big old teddy bear, my chulo from Congress. I love him very much. We work together. He's the chair of the VA committee. I'm chair of the Congressional Hispanic Committee, and we do a lot of work together on a lot of issues that are important for our community. And of course, the love of my life and my soulmate, my wife Monica, is here. We were able to secure a babysitter, so thank you for being here. Look, I just came back from Honduras, invited by Vice President Harris to be one of the 5 presidential diplomats at the first woman president inauguration of Honduras. It was an incredible, historic trip, not to mention just darn right cool to be on Air Force Two and, you know, have all that kind of stuff and all the security with the Marines and everything. It was pretty legit. But I was sitting there, and I was the only other person other than Vice President that participated in the binational talks in addressing corruption, transparency, economic opportunity, long-term investments, and other things that affect the root causes of migration to our country that happen regardless of who's in presidents, that's been cyclical in nature. And I was sitting there, I opened by speaking Spanish, of course, of the historic implications of the first woman president meeting with our first woman vice president of our nation, and how they now can feel the pride that I feel in being able to say that we have the first woman in the executive branch in our country. And as I was flying back here, I was so excited to support another strong woman who stands up to bullies, who has a voice of her own, whether they're bullies in the Republican Party or bullies in the Democratic Party, it doesn't matter, she speaks her mind. And that's why it is so important for me. Another reason why it's so important for me is, look, some of you I'm probably meeting for the first time. And I'm a son of the Valley here in the Coachella Valley. I grew up in Coachella, went to Pondview Elementary, graduated CV High School. My parents were farm workers, and I know firsthand what it means to suffer pain, suffer from lack of health care. I know what it means to go to school when you don't have the right tools and books and computers and after-school programs. And I know what it means when parents have to work 2 to 3 jobs just to get by and pay their bills. I also know what it means to be part of a community where you're bullied and discriminated against and thought of less than in others, whether because of the clothes you wear, the language you speak, or the person you love. That's why we're one community here. That's why we all must defend each other here in our causes. That is why we need to be united. And I went to UCLA, Harvard Medical School, Harvard Kennedy School, Harvard School of Public Health, came back, worked as an emergency physician. And I stood up to a bully when others, even some in my own party, said, "Who the hell do you think you are?" I stood up to anybody who denied a voice in a participation of serving the people. And I know firsthand that Christy will do the same. I know that that is something that we share in common. You see, I've known Christy for quite some time. And I remember when she ran for city council, we met at a coffee shop and seeking my endorsement, and I knew immediately, based on her background, always in a history of standing up for social justice, for standing up for those that are marginalized, for those that don't have a voice and didn't have a voice until Christy came and represented them, fighting for justice, and immediately endorsed her and have been so pleased for what she's gotten accomplished. In terms of housing, she's brought in hundreds of new affordable housing, secured $10 million in affordable housing monies for Palm Springs. In terms of climate action, she's leading the way, something the federal government should heed. In terms of the environment, banning styrofoams, forever chemicals, and other dangerous products here in the city of Palm Springs. And one of the things that I'm most proud of is that when the pandemic happened, she did not cower to the protesters and the misinformed zealots out there. She did not waver in her belief in mask mandates. She did not waver in the truth of what it was to take, what we would need to do to take care of our residents. She stood up to them. And with her leadership and the city council, they enacted one of the best, most aggressive, and early in the nation precautions in the nation. And we talked, and we did that so that they could be the example for the other cities of doing the right thing. And that's very important. And that's why I trust Christy in using her intellect and using her heart, and together fighting for people. In terms of education, she has been a complete champion. I know she will fight for childcare. I know she will fight to bring resources into the community. That's why I support Christy. Wholeheartedly endorse Christy, will help Christy, will open doors for Christy, will work with Christy to bring resources into our communities, will defend Christy when we need to defend Christy. And that's why I'm asking you to open your wallets today to the tunes of doubling what you thought you were going to come in to give, because we need a Christy in Sacramento right now in the face of conservative, the far-right extremists who are fighting voting rights, who are spewing misinformation, who are taking us back into a time of conspiracy theories and nonsense, big lies. We need a person who will defend the truth. We'll need a person who will defend LGBTQ rights, who will fight for injustice and social justice, and make sure that everybody in our country has the opportunity and feels safe for being who they are. And so with that, Christy, I know that you're going to be a champion for so many. I am excited to work with you. You will turn this red district blue. I'm excited, and that will be a thing we will have in common, knowing how to turn red districts blue. And that's why we fully support you. I support you. I brought my check from my leadership pack to support Christy. I know others will too. And so I encourage all of you. I know you came. You might have given 500. I'm asking you to give 1,000. I know you came. You might have given 250. I'm asking you to give another 250. I know you came to give 1,000. If you can give 1,000, chances are you can probably give 2,000. So please, let's support Christy, because what she needs, more than solidarity, she needs pragmatic solidarity. What does that mean? That means that in addition to the pat on the backs and way to go girl, you can make it, she needs the money to put her commercials up on air. She needs the money to send the flyers to people's homes. That is pragmatic solidarity. And that's how we're going to win. That's not only this election, but we're going to win the argument for the soul of our country. And with that, thank you very much.
Okay, if that hasn't motivated everyone, I don't know what will. But so I'll be brief. Look, I've had the pleasure of working with Christy for the last 4 years on the city council. We've been partners on so much policy together. She's so smart, so empathetic, cares about those who often don't have a voice. And, you know, I don't need to share all the issues. I think you've heard them from others. But she's really been out there. But I want to touch on something else now. We need someone in Sacramento who understands that our residents and our businesses matter. We need someone in Sacramento who understands that we are often, more frequently than not, denied the same funding per resident that the big 13 cities get. 72% of the population lives in cities of less than 300,000. But we typically get the same or less total than the 13 cities with 300,000 or more, because they have political power. And that's not okay. And I'll give a quick example. When the state was distributing federal money it received for COVID, cities between 300 and 500,000 received $86 per person. The rest of us, $12 per person, to do the exact same things. So the city of Riverside, with just over 300,000 person, received around $27 million. Our 9 cities, with a larger population, received under $5 million. That's because they have access. And we need a champion in Sacramento who is going to fight to get those resources equally distributed to where they belong. And Christy stood up, and we stood up together on this as part of our COVID work to fight that. Because our residents are worth just as much as people who live in Riverside, Los Angeles, San Diego, or any of those other cities. So I know Christy can do it because we work together, including with former Councilmember Roberts, to bring $10 million to address homelessness in the city, and we've leveraged over $50 million from that money. We have 3 new affordable housing projects and a navigation center we just approved. But we need someone who's thinking about that every day for this district. And so, just to follow up on Congressman Ruiz's comments, we need someone to advocate that we get that investment here in this district, and we need your investment to get Christy to be that person. So do as Raul does, I always do, almost, and make sure, just double your gift. Give what you can, because this is a swing district. This is going to be one of the closest races for the assembly in the state of California. And the difference between a staffer, Republican, and a legislator, Democrat, who has proven what she can do in just over 3 years on the city council, speaks for itself. So it's my great pleasure, with that in mind, to introduce really a remarkable human being, truly, who has so much passion and care and concern, and as the congressman said, doesn't care if the bullies attack her. Well, at the very least, she probably cares, but she does the right thing. And she will take on any issue if it's the right thing to do. And my husband, James, always talks about Christy this way. She is a brave legislator. She will not operate out of fear. She'll operate out of conviction. So please welcome the next assemblywoman from this district, Christy Holstege.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's so great to see you. Thank you so much to our speakers for that incredible presentation about why this district is so important for our region. Really appreciate the support, and I have a lot of thank yous. But I'm just inspired by the words of my colleagues. I have been in this district fighting for social justice for 10 years, every single day. I started a legal aid clinic for domestic violence victims, primarily serving undocumented women fleeing with nothing but the clothes on their back and their children. I worked in Coachella with farm workers, standing with them in the fields and in mobile home parks without access to clean water. I've been in here in Palm Springs representing homeless clients. I've had clients here in Palm Springs who ration toilet paper. That's the need that we have in this community. But look at our community. We have incredible resilience and power, people power. We have been leading on the issues that matter most to our region and to California. And I'm here to fight. The future is uncertain. And thank you to Congressman Ruiz, who has been leading us as an emergency room doctor through a global pandemic. Thank you to Congressman Takano, for both of you, for fighting for democracy when there's an insurrection on our nation's capital. as a board member for Planned Parenthood of the Pacific Southwest, the second largest affiliate by patient volume in the country, by the way, we know that Roe and abortion access is under attack. People already are coming to Palm Springs, to the Coachella Valley, and to California for access, for basic access. And that's what I'm ready to fight every single day for our region, is that basic access and infrastructure, access to education. We're the furthest removed region from a four-year university than anywhere in the state. We need a four-year university like CSU Palm Desert so our students can go and get an education and get good paying jobs where they can build wonderful, thriving lives. We need infrastructure. We need a passenger rail. I know Mayor Middleton has been leading on getting passenger rail to the Coachella Valley. We can reduce the climate impacts of visitors, and we can have access to the rest of the state. And that's what I'm so excited, is to open up our region in Sacramento. We now have a daily direct flight to Sacramento on Southwest, thanks to the Palm Springs City Council and all of our partners. And we haven't had access before to our state legislators. We haven't had a state legislator who represents our values, who's gonna fight like hell about climate change. We're on the front lines of climate change here. We had more days over 120 than ever before. It's inhabitable. We have to lead on these issues. We have to lead on the housing crisis, the homelessness crisis, the child care crisis, facing a lot of crises. But I know we can get it done with the resilience of our community, the power of our community. We have those ideas that we've been leading here in Palm Springs. We created our own desert community energy, thanks to Councilmember Corr's leadership. We reduced our climate emissions by 16%. Better than the state. So I appreciate you all. Thank you for your generous support. This takes a village. And as a mom of a 15-month-old baby who's here today, his shirt says vote for me, but really he's asking you to vote for me. Me and him are one and the same. We made him. Thank you to my husband, by the way, Adam Gilbert, who has Christy even in his hair. They're going all in. I know it, and my parents are here too. Where are my parents? They're in the back. They've been doing the hard work of babysitting today so I could do this. It takes a village to raise a family, to build community, to advocate for our values, and to win. And it's going to take all of you, and we are going to win. We've been endorsed by Equality California, Victory Fund, Sierra Club California, Planned Parenthood Action Fund. We've been endorsed by unions, California Federation of Teachers, people representing working people every single day. And with your help, we are going to win. And I'll just say, before I close, because I appreciate you standing in the sun for us, and I know it's a perfect day here in Palm Springs, just a little bit hot. This is a Democratic district. This is a Democratic district. When Chad Mays first ran for the seat in 2014, this was like an R+9. This was a red district. By the way, I see Greg Rodriguez, who held it down and ran for the seat and has done incredible work in our community, leading the way. So from 2014 to now, Biden won this district by almost 7 points. 7 points. This is no longer a purple district, it's a blue district. And we know the future is on the line. I've been the only candidate in this race now for 6 months. You don't have a lot of choices, it's me. But we are gonna win, and we actually do have a Republican who just filed a campaign committee. So we know that this is gonna be a Democrat versus Republican race. So we are going to flip the 47th, and we are gonna win. And we are gonna build a world that is more prosperous and thriving, that doesn't leave anyone behind, that's equitable, that's habitable, and that so little babies like him and his generation can inherit a better world with your help. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you for your support. I'll just say thank you to our volunteers today who are doing the hard work in the sun. Thank you to the Flannery Exchange. I saw Mike and Erica Flannery for giving this beautiful event space. Thank you to our entire host committee. We so appreciate your support. I see Mike Flannery there. Thank you, Mike. So with that, let's get to work. There are just over 120 days before the June 7th election. So we have a primary. We have been hustling and working full-time on this campaign every single day. We will continue to do so with your help, and we are going to hustle and fight and win and flip this district. Thank you so much.
There you have it, exclusive, comprehensive coverage of Christy Holstege's first in-person event on the road to winning this election.
I didn't mean to cut myself off like that, but now we're live in studio again on February 9th, 2022. The event that you just saw took place on January 30th. And I'm honored to bring you comprehensive coverage of that particular event. I support Christy, but as I've mentioned a couple of times during this broadcast, I welcome Mr. Wallis or anyone else who might end up competing against Christy to come on the show for an equal and fair interview. Always happy to do that. If you've watched the show this long, if you've watched the entire show, then you're probably interested in hot topics, and you might be interested in knowing this. So between now and the end of April, look for 5 to 15 new episodes a week of PromoHomo.TV. Once again, I welcome your support and I appreciate you watching today. And until next time, I'm Nicholas Snow.